I did that last time. I wanted to do something different this time.
You can push the buttons during the show.
That's some good head.
This is the part where you say hi.
Hi, I'm RJ.
And I'm Stephen. This is 60 Cycle Hum, the guitar buying, selling, trading, modding, fixing, breaking, reviewing, playing, synthing podcast.
Oh.
I should have said that last time.
You should have. Should have, could have, would have, but you didn't.
I know.
This episode, it's a little more, even more appropriate this time because it is submitted comment.
Yeah, so...
Question, I should say. Topic.
Patrick Bear is on the Facebook group. Says, what type and which guitar pedals also work well with synth, microphones, drums, that also work real well with guitars and basses? We all know any Chase Bliss and Mira's pedals work well with synths, but what boosts, drives, fuzzes, etc.? I don't think it's talked about much. For example, would be the new Line 6 Mark II delay. Has a mic hookup, so you can use your mic up to your amp, or use it to sing out, etc., etc. So based on, last episode we talked about TeleTalks and kind of some of the content on there, and one of the things we talked about is that, I think you're oh yeah, I should have turned the AC off. Who's running this thing? Where's the producer?
I guess I am it for today.
So one of the things we talked about is that on TeleTalks, I think your most successful video, is that accurate? Is from your Keep It Simple Stupid series.
Yes, it is. Most of my most successful videos are one of them being Pop Punk by Brian Gower, and then for guitar, and then Kyle did one for bass.
Yeah, and so the Keep It Simple Stupid series is you ideally sitting down with people and saying, okay, what genre of music do you like to play? And if you could only have 4 pedals. Yeah. What
were you going to use to achieve that genre? Yeah. You get a guitar, 4 pedals, and an amp.
Yeah. So, so the thought here is 4 pedals, Keep It Simple Stupid, that you could use for synth, guitar, bass. I guess you could use voice with this.
Yeah, you would just have to buy like a XLR to a quarter. Yeah.
So what do we got here?
Yeah, so first of all, the whole reason why I bought this pedal right here, the Earthquaker Devices Special Cranker, is because they did a demo on their channel where they ran a drum machine into this, and it was one of the most magical sounds I've ever heard.
And there's the drums. I left out drums because I was like, well, it's like drum machines, and I don't know, but like you said, you got sold on this from a drum machine. From a drum machine.
Yeah. Because like the best thing about that demo specifically, which typically, to be fair, I don't feel like most companies do their own pedals justice with the demos. But this one, like literally they did everything. They ran a bass through it. So I think the only thing they didn't do is probably vocals. But if I remember correctly, everything else has been ran through this, and you should really check it out. So this is what I would recommend for dirt. Okay. Absolutely. You mentioned Maris, you mentioned Chase Bliss. Yeah. But you don't need something that crazy, that awesome. Sometimes all you need for your goodness is a good analog delay. That is a loud plane. I'm just going to point it out every time. But anyways, no, a good analog delay. Yeah. Boss makes plenty of them. Not really. They make this one.
No, they make that one. What are you talking?
But I will say, I just meant like analog inspired, like the bar. Yeah. I have the Boss RE202, which has a great saturation feature. Again, also cool for synths, and just like it's just cool as like outboard gear for your mixes. But no, even this baby, is
that's one of the DM2W, which is. It seems like all the Wazacraft stuff is really is knocking it out. Absolutely. Like, I don't know if they've made a bad one. They've made some, like the Tone Bender was a little, I think, controversial. Like some people were kind of like, but I think overall it's been like a really, I mean, it's a return to made in Japan pedals.
Yeah.
So the quality bar is set higher, but yeah, as far as I know, people love everything from that line.
And what's cool about this one is you have, I mean, typically if you're a synth player, you have it in with arm's reach, but this has a rate input where you can use an expression pedal.
Oh, okay.
Which could be cool for any kind of thing, especially for the spacey drony stuff.
Or
like Radiohead, I'm thinking.
I'd have to imagine there's probably also, I wonder if I guess I don't know, depending on how that's set up. Well, if you're using an expression pedal, you'd just be adjusting sending signal. You'd be using like a TRS. It'd be sending signal out, or actually, it would just be a TS cable, but it's sending signal out and sending signal back.
Yeah.
I guess, okay, where I'm going with this is like, could you plug an oscillator into that and like get a sine wave auto ramping versus having to do it with the pedal? I think the answer is no.
No.
Because like I said, I think the pedal itself is generating the signal and going
the only way you could
based off of the
I don't
return.
The only thing you could do is I think EHX makes like a expression setting thing where you can set the min and the max and you just foot switch it. So if you want a more diverse, I guess you could do it like that instead of tweaking it. You could have like set parameters. If you're trying to use analog gear like this that doesn't have MIDI to like get like a syncopated rhythm of some sort, like, and you know what tempo you're going to be because theoretically you're using a sequencer, you can then set it and forget it and go between the two if you absolutely need to.
Right.
I think that's the closest thing you could do, though.
Okay. What do you want to talk about next? We want to talk about the Habit or this other guy?
Let's just go in the order of how I would actually put it in the chain. Next one would be the Albi by Big Ear.
What's your favorite mode?
I don't know. I don't remember. Here's what I will say on the video on my channel where I demo this through, I demo the pocket operator through this. I have like an old, like kind of like early Nas inspired like New York beat on there.
Okay.
And I make just the most stank face in that video because I'm vibing so hard to what this is doing. And it was just like a subtle like room ambience like thing. Like, like if you went down into some like underground club in the 90s and like where like, you know, there were people doing like battling and stuff like that, like you would just like it just captured the ambience, right? Which that was so cool. So that's why I would choose this. It's 80s in a box, really. Yeah. So it's chorus, it's reverb. The way I look at it is amongst synth players, there's the Zoom CDR.
Okay.
Chorus delay reverb pedal. It's like a multi-effects. That's 120.
Is that the little like multi?
Yeah, like the one that Ryan uses.
It's like current production.
Yeah. So that is like the thing that a lot of synth YouTubers use. This is the better version of that.
Oh, okay.
You have a little less control. However, you don't need more control when it's just right as is.
There you go. All right, and we got last year. You know, they mentioned this in the comment. I feel like I should have banned this pedal when you brought it up, but I didn't. It's the Chase Plus Habit.
Yeah.
Thanks for just chugging that on mic. Now I know why Ryan gets mad at me all the time.
You can blank it out if you want. Anyways, the Habit. I don't know much about this pedal. I just know it's very well liked.
Why did you pick it then?
Because no, give me a second. No, like legitimately, like it's just because it's like it kind of in its own way. I mean, it doesn't do similar functions to this pedal, but you know how like a lot of people use the Strymon Deco for like not just like they could do slapback, but it also can do flange. But it can also do tape saturation. Yeah. I feel like this is kind of like that, but with like delays and then also loopers, like a looper, because, you know, it does that sampling thing.
Yeah.
Which is really cool because, again, I think with this whole setup, you could do some crazy ambient, like droney, think Dune cinematic, like hums and just ambiance. And I think that's kind of what's cool about this. Also, I'm sure, like, because I'm pretty sure there's like a more traditional just like looper again. So if you're into vocals, you rearrange the chain, put this in the front, and then now you're affecting, you know, you can change whatever you want, you know. So that's another reason why, because I feel like this is something you can use as a looper, but also as a delay, also as a bunch of other stuff that would be
just, it'd be really cool on synth for sure.
Yeah, or drum machine too.
Or yeah.
So that's why I would choose it. I don't know how to work it. I just know what it does.
Yeah, we got a pretty good spread here.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed is you don't have any full-tone pedals. It's an old news joke, guys. I made an old news joke about a guy who's doesn't want to put money into his business anymore, so he's moving to Nashville, hanging it up, but he'll defend his patents or his trademarks. Don't try to make a fake full-tone pedal. You're going to get sued.
How's that working out for him? Has he successfully sued anybody?
I don't know. Who can know? I know a lot of people want to sue him for putting Comic Sans on his most popular pedal.
You know, not everybody's, you know, about that graphic design. You know, not everybody can be
it's
iconic.
It's funny because I feel like I think Exotic Effects also uses Comic Sans.
Yes.
But somehow on theirs it's kind of charming. I think because like
the size of most of them.
Well, because even like your like RC booster, excuse me, the AC booster and the RC booster, or sorry, the EP boost.
And I got in trouble for drinking on the mic. You kidding me?
But they've got Comic Sans. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just because of like Mike Fuller's rep as like just a general pain in the ass.
That's what we're calling it.
Well, I mean, even before deciding to like weigh in on the BLM. 2020 political climate and BLM, you know, somebody.
No, he was famous for the response to Dirty Power. That's why his OCD sounded so noisy, not because it couldn't be the pedal. It was. You're using a cheap piece of shit power supply.
Yeah.
Like, go buy a real power supply, you pussy.
Yeah. Somebody...
like, basically is what he said.
Somebody said they bought one, and then they had an issue with it. It was like the first pedal they owned, and so they weren't sure what power supply to use. And basically, he berated the person for being... functionally for being a beginner.
Yeah.
So, you know, these are things that were known. People made a lot of comments about it, and you know, people are really quick to come to defense of like, well, all he really said was that, you know, the city of Los Angeles should be doing more to protect small businesses from looters during like the BLM protests. And you know, people came up and said like, oh, this and that and whatever. And I said this on the live stream. Is my take on it is. There are ways to nuance a statement like, well, the city and the state should be doing something about these looters, which for a lot of people is being translated as like, well, if you're bringing up the looters, which the looters are, you know, the looters are just people who are taking advantage of the moment. They're not really affiliated with the BLM movement and the protests, but they're people taking advantage. But if you bring that up, it was kind of like, it was a dog whistle. For like, I don't like BLM, and so I'm going to associate him with this thing. And instead of, I think, clarifying, I think there's ways to make that statement, and when you get called out for it, be like, well, this is really what, like, I just want to stand up, you know, and say this because I'm a small business owner or whatever. And instead of doing that, he doubled down on it to say, well, if you think I'm wrong, well, how are you going to feel when I break into your house and steal my Fulltone pedal back from you? And it was just like, that seems like a really weird way to like handle this. And so I told someone that to me, people go like, well, you know, like maybe those comments really like did his business in, and it's possible. Well, they stopped being carried in like at Guitar Center.
But that wasn't the reason.
What do you think the reason is? Because he hasn't come up with a new pedal?
He basically claimed that he pulled out of Guitar Center.
That's true.
Paying him.
That's true. He was saying that they were the ones defaulting, so he stopped selling there.
And that's totally true. And also, like, I don't know if you watch what's his name? Philip McKnight?
Yeah.
He literally just covered this, and he was talking about, because, you know, he used to own a shop.
Yeah.
And he was talking about the buy-in process and like, you know, and he does the Gibson approach, which is you really want this guitar, or the Rolex approach, which is if you want a Rolex, you can't just go buy, a lot of times you can't just go buy a Rolex. Right. You have to buy like $50,000 worth of jewelry and stuff from an authorized seller. And then you get put on a list. They got to know your worth.
Oh, weird.
They kid you not, go and try to buy a Rolex from an authorized dealer. You will not even get on the list to get one unless you purchase, just you do these shady deals like that. So he did the same thing that Gibson does. Gibson, the way he explained is Gibson is like, oh yeah, I really want the Gibson Les Paul Standard. You know, I want like 3 of those. Yeah, but you also have to buy our Firebird, or you also have to buy a certain amount of this. For the shops,
I think, yeah, to an extent, with the shops, I feel like that's pretty normal. But I feel like you're about to drop something.
It's not so much drop, but the way he went about it is his total how he speaks. And so the thing that stood out to Philip McKnight, and because he covered it when this was a rumor and like that statement wasn't confirmed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But he goes, it may not be confirmed, but from my dealings with him via email about trying to become a dealership, this is him just based off of his sarcasm alone.
Right.
And it was the funny thing is like, he led in with like, oh yeah, and you have to buy this brand of cable that I sell because all other cables are pieces of shit.
Right.
And what was funny is like Philip McKnight's like, it's a small business. I know who he uses to like his OEM that he rebrands. And he accused me of not carrying a good quality cable, but I knew which one he was using. And yeah, I carried it in my shop already.
Right.
But he made me like to get it. You had to buy the whole lineup, even the ones that don't sell.
Yeah.
And you have to buy a certain amount, of course, like most places, right? Yeah. So, and you had to buy these stupid cables.
Yeah. The accessories thing. I hadn't heard that.
Yeah.
The whole, and that's the whole thing is it's like, one of the show, our followers, or actually one of our patrons, Tom Kelly, made the comment, that, you know, the online guitar community is actually a pretty small cross section of the community.
1000%. Like any other passionate fan base.
Yeah.
Right?
So at the end of the day, like if you're in, even like the largest guitar groups I've seen are in like the 40 to 50,000. I'm saying on Facebook.
Yeah.
40 to 50,000 people. I think the gear page has like hundreds of thousands of accounts. But you know, even if you go on like a Facebook group and this group's huge, it's got 40,000 people in it. There's only like 100 active members.
Oh, absolutely.
And they're the most like involved. And so when you go in there, we're like all of the people in this group hate
the Snyder Cut fanboy equivalent.
Yeah. All the people in this group hate this company for all these reasons, but really it's 15 people in a group of, and they're the only 15 people who respond to every post. There's 15 people who are against, 3 people who are for, and another 399,981 who just aren't responding.
Absolutely.
Right. So to his point, I think, you know, it's not all of the online controversy that like was the Fulltone problem. it was like you're saying, like
it was Mike issues,
Fuller. You know, getting out of not being able to figure out how to get money out of Guitar Center. I've heard Guitar Center's had other problems with that, with other brands. So that just kind of sucks overall.
No, the only
Fulltone's still selling in Sweetwater.
Well, so that's
so it's not like it's not available.
No, that's what I was going to follow up with. I was like, the only one that punished him for his political comments was Reverb. And you can buy used on there. They were just saying like their official site isn't gonna.
Yeah, I think if it's brand new or mint condition, you couldn't sell it. So
like that's just. But Reverb's done that before with other controversial. Topics pedals. So I don't think that. Do I think the guy's an asshole? 100%.
Oh yeah.
He's a garbage person.
Yeah, I don't think there's a context, and like I said, like. So all of this added up to me to say, like, look, whether or not you want to play he's just protecting his small business card, or you're like, no, he's dog whistling. The BLM thing wasn't like, they always say, oh, well, that was the nail in the coffin. Like that was Mike Fuller's nail in the coffin. He'd been building a coffin for years.
Yeah.
And he finally just like closed the thing. And I don't think even this letter, I don't think is, to me, it's really weirdly written. Now, I know California I always hear is a tough place to do business.
Absolutely.
Maybe he just got tired of it. But then it's really weird to me to say like that he's closing shop and moving and that they're done, because I think like other brands would just move,
pick up
and tell the team like, hey, I'm moving to this place. If you can come with me, let's figure something out. If you can't, now maybe he thinks like, nationally the laws and whatever aren't in his favor. Again, one of the things I brought up on the live stream too, I don't know if Ryan has, he did have one full tone pedal. He had an OCD, but I don't know.
Okay, it's probably in the drawer or something
where it is, and I'm not going to find it. But one thing with those pedals, if you look them up online, is they do have a pretty unique case. So I do he said a line in there where he said, well, the environment of the current 4 years has been bad for business. And personally, I think that's a Biden dig. He's trying to blame him. He's basically trying to blame his company going out of business on Gavin Newsom and Joe Biden.
Of course.
But if you were to read it backwards 4 years and say, well, no, he's actually talking about the last 4 years that haven't been bad for business, where I can see that being true is, what did we have? 4 years ago, we had major in an attempt. Issues. Well, we had supply issues because of COVID, but we also had a significant attempt to limit importation of metal goods.
Yeah.
Which, from what I understand, like forced sourcing steel to the United States. Well, I think it was steel, and there may have been aluminum as well. I'm not sure. And so I don't know if this is true, but speculatively, I could imagine that a company that's doing bent steel enclosures probably isn't doing like them in bulk.
No.
So they're going to get hit harder by tariffs versus a company like Hammond. Hammond's manufacturing millions of cases a day probably. And so they're able to spread out that tax across their you
have 4 versions of the pedal. Come out with a 5th one that's in a normal enclosure.
Yeah. I kind of wonder if any of these pedals are going to be like MXR branded in the next 2 years.
Right.
Like the MXR full tone release.
Yeah. I don't know. But no, do I think it's hard to run a business in the state of California, especially something like that, manufacturing?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm not questioning that at all. I don't.
For sure.
Like,
right.
It's expensive, y'all. Like, for those who are not here, like, it is just an expensive life. Poor Steve had to move all the way out into basically bum F nowhere just to, like make it out here, to have something decent.
Yeah.
Like,
you don't even have a Burger King.
That's how you know you're below trash. Like, golly.
There is a Del Taco down the street, though.
Some Del Taco.
Yeah, so that's this is cool. So going back, Special Cranker, Boss DM2, the Albee. We'll talk more about the Albee later. We'll talk more about the Habit later too. And there you go. And no full tone pedals on this 4-pedal rig.
And there will never be full tone pedal. I don't even think, like, that's my other thing. Like, the only thing I'd ever be interested owning of his that I can't get some other version, because guess what? I'm sorry, buddy, but Joyo makes your pedal just as fine when it comes to OCD.
Oh, the ultimate drive?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. His tape machine.
Yeah.
That's probably like the only thing. That's not a pedal. That's a tape machine.
I heard tape delay. I heard recently that actually when people are buying the remaining stock, that they were getting a follow-up email saying, like, just so you know, the warranty on this pedal will only be serviced for like the next 6 months. So instead, I don't know how long the warranty normally is, but
that's not something you want to hear when it comes to a tape machine.
So it's kind of the same sort of a deal as like, hey, if you're buying this thinking at some point down the road, Full Tone will be around to service it, we won't.
You think he's too prideful to sell off his IP?
I don't know. I kind of go back and forth. My gut is that eventually he will, that somebody will pick a number and they'll think they can make it work. I actually kind of suspect that...
I don't think he has buyers.
Really?
I don't think Full Tone has the name recognition and the respect it now does because of what he's done. Like if a company were to say, yeah, we bought the OCD line, we bought the Full Tone lineup, we're re-releasing the OCD, I wouldn't want to give them money out of the history of that brand.
Do you think it would hurt their overall brand?
I don't think it would hurt their overall brand. They might get a little bit of flack, but like you said, the general public won't really care.
Yeah.
However, what I think is, I don't think you can get it off of him for a number that actually makes sense and makes it worth, because he's too prideful. He's sorry, but he's the Trump that's like valuing his resort at like a bajillion dollars.
Yeah.
Because it's the greatest thing ever. I'm not going to try to do a Trump accent. I can't.
Good.
I can't fucking do it.
It's better that way.
But you know,
I actually think he's going to move to Nashville. He's going to realize that the cost of labor is lower.
Yes.
That maybe the tax situation is favorable. I think his music project will, he's saying he's going to Nashville and he's going to start a studio and all this stuff. It looks like that's actually all in place already. But I suspect that at some point, the studio thing is just going to be a thing and other people will be running it, and that he's going to start making pedals again. And maybe it will only be like custom line. It'll be like real small batch, like kind of like the Analog Man model.
No, it's going to be something even worse. You know what it's going to be?
But it's going to be the Klon model?
No, it's going to be Love Pedal. It's going to be Sean from Love Pedal. I think that's his name. Love Pedal, where like he does these absurd like releases there where he markets them as quote unquote half off. But it's just because he makes like a list price of like 300 and then sells the pedal for 150. Like it's going to be that, because remember, he got a lot of flack too back in the day.
Well, he got a lot of flack also because isn't the Amp 11 just a Tim?
The Amp 11's just a Tim, and the OD 11, the one that they did, especially the one that they did for Pro Guitar Shop, is just a Timmy without the selector.
Right. Which that would be just a Timmy V1.
Yeah.
I think the V1 was the one without a toggle.
So that's why he got in trouble. But I think it's still a similar situation. I think that's what we'll go towards.
Because the Love Pedal stuff is always like so low priced. Because their stuff actually is pretty low priced when they put it on sale all the time for $99 or whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. You got anything else to say about this?
Mike, you suck.
Oh, I was like, who's Mike?
Mike Fuller, you suck. Sorry, let me clarify.
So I'm going to do some housekeeping.
You do that, boo-boo.
If you want to support the show, head on over to patreon.com/60cyclehumpcast, where for as little as $1 a month, you can help make this show happen. It pays for trips. It pays for replacing some of the equipment when we need to. It puts a little money in our pocket. It pays for dinner. So,
birthday boy dinner.
Check that out. Head on over. Ryan will be back next week.
That's right.
He's been having his birthday party for so long.
That's right. I mean, well, he had Guitar House for like 3 months.
Is Guitar House over yet?
Yeah, I was the last one. No, I wasn't. I thought I was going to be the last one to post a video. Perfecto, his vlog was, I think off the top of my head, that was the officially last video of Guitar House.
All right, let's hit this first ad. This was sent by Mud Puppy. It says here is a custom-built live edge electric guitar from Phoenix Guitar Works, made from a slab of cherry wood and finished in spar varathane. The neck is an import finished in true oil. Guitar heads lumbucker pickups with on-off coil split for each pickup. Pick them in London only. No case. No lowball offers or trades. Some information about the back of the guy, but he does say he does custom builds and refurbs as Phoenix Guitar Works. I love taking older, less loved guitars, giving them new life. If you have a guitar you want to send new life to, give new life to, send me a message. That's a really great idea. That's a great name with Phoenix Guitar Works. It plays out until you turn into Dark Phoenix Guitar Works and just start like murdering everybody. That's a problem.
Which version of that do you like more?
I actually have no take because I don't really know a lot about the X-Men.
Okay, well, I'm talking about the movie version. Do you like the third X-Men or do you like the Dark Phoenix?
I haven't seen Dark Phoenix.
Okay.
I heard not great things about it. I haven't seen it. And
you saw The Last Stand?
Yes.
So that was, their first attempt, right?
Yeah.
First of all, I have the most unpopular opinion. The last X-Men Last Stand is my favorite X-Men movie of the original 3.
It's just so busy. All I remember is there's so much going on.
Yeah, but you know what? Name another one of those where it shows the true power of Magneto literally lifting the Golden Gate Bridge onto Alcatraz. Like, come on.
Yeah.
That's big stuff.
What do you think about, I was listening to a podcast recently and they were talking about that now that it seems pretty much confirmed that an X-Men movie is coming. Mm-hmm. Basically, this show I was listening to was saying that the MCU does not need its own version of the Dark Phoenix saga. That they should pick a different story. Maybe, they have already kind of leaned into it. They could easily do House of M.
Why would they do House of M, though?
I don't know.
Do you know the basis of House of M?
Vaguely. Isn't that Wanda's mental break story? Which that's what I'm saying. They kind of already have a setup for it.
But here's the thing. The whole reason why they did House of M in the comics is because they wanted to kill off the X-Men because they didn't own the rights. And
interesting.
That's why they did that, and then they leaned into the Inhumans thing and made Inhumans their thing. Which
now in the MCU, the Inhumans are mutants. So, go figure.
Not quite. Not quite. Inhumans are... Because if you watch S.H.I.E.L.D., Inhumans are still
S.H.I.E.L.D.'s not canon. I haven't seen S.H.I.E.L.D.
S.H.I.E.L.D. is semi-canon. It towards the end, it's not. But the original, 3 seasons are. Up until the Captain America S.H.I.E.L.D., I would consider that canon. But point being is, and even in the comics, Inhumans they have a dormant mutant gene that only gets exposed by Terrigen Mist because they are genetically altered by the Skrull. Mm-hmm. They're humans genetically altered by the Skrull. Ancient times.
Oh, yeah.
Ancient times.
Yeah.
And they just still pass down that dormant gene.
Well, the reason I was bringing that up is that the Inhumans are mutants now in the MCU is because of the line in Miss Marvel at the very end.
Yeah, but she's also not a...
No, she's an Inhuman. In the comic book, she's an Inhuman.
Yes, but not
in the... Yeah, they have to...
Yeah.
Then that's why this isn't Earth 616.
Yeah. It's 616.
Or 6... Sure. Yeah, 6... But it's not,
I know.
That's Iman Vellani's whole argument. It can't... If it's not aligned with the comic books, it can't be 616.
No, yeah, it's... Well, yeah, it's not... It can't be 616, even though... motherfucking Samuel L. Jackson is not 616.
Oh, because he's
ultimate.
He's the ultimate Fury. Yeah.
He's the ultimate Fury.
Yeah.
Same thing for. There's a bunch of them.
Yeah, no, I know. It's all over. All right, this Live Edge. All of that off of a bad Phoenix joke.
All of that off of bad. But hey, let's rope it back in because this could. You know how on last episode we had the 007 James Bond.
Yeah.
This could be official Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy. I am Groot.
Oh, nice!
like this is this would be a better homage to like a Groot inspired. Like, oh yeah, this guitar was crafted after the Battle of Wakanda, and he lost one of his limbs, and then from that limb, I decided to construct this masterpiece.
Oh my gosh, hate you.
It's fucking good, right? Sorry, I'm not supposed to curse like that, but that's good, right?
Yeah, I kind of hate various aspects of this. One,
my arm looks so uncomfortable because I play sitting.
Oh yeah,
right there, like that. That's just brushing up against my arm. No, thank you.
This is like this is very much a standing guitar. Even then, like I rest my arm up there. And I feel like this is mostly a wall hanger that you only play at parties. One of the things that I keep forgetting about this is it says pick up in London only. And as soon as I read that, I think like, oh, this is in the UK. It's not. It's in Canada. And there's a Canadian penny in the headstock.
Ontario.
Yeah. This is one of those, it's an import neck, but it looks like they've done at least a little bit of work to it. This is one of those guitars where it's like, you, sir, are very talented at what you do, and I don't ever want to see it ever again. The jack placement is very
uncomfortable looking. As a big dude myself, that's just digging into me.
Yeah, it does not seem like a good place. It's got those machine head screws with the inserts that like a lot of brands are kind of going to that. I'm kind of mixed on it. I guess it's cool. People are like, "Oh, the metal on metal contact makes it more secure and whatever." But I don't know.
I don't like the hardware. I don't like the bridge. I forget what kind of bridge that is.
It's a Floyd.
It is a Floyd. Okay, that's what.
Well, it's some kind of Floyd style.
But that's my point. I would just do a wraparound, like a traditional like SG Junior wraparound.
Okay. Yeah.
I would. It looks like those are dual concentric pots. Does he say that?
I don't think he does.
Because that looks like it, right? It looks like there's 2 layers on that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because then you got the 2 switches. I'm a guess for the.
Oh no, it's not. I think it's just a master volume. Because if you look at it from the side, it's just a really weird kind of hat.
It's an ugly top hat.
It's a top hat. Yeah. Instead of a witch hat knob, it's a top hat knob. And so it's just got I think it's a 3-way with coil switching.
Does it hold tune?
It should.
And this also looks kind of tiny because of how he has it. Well, yeah. But
it's like a weird SG.
But
it's like
of how he rounded the butt.
Oh.
Like, yeah. It just doesn't look like as if they were already not neck heavy enough. Like, yeah. This again is designated for a stand.
Yeah.
Up and play. Stand up and play it like with like, your strap all the way off. Like, play it at your knees.
This is asking 2,200 Canadian. I want to say that's like 1,600 US.
Absurd.
I definitely think
disgusting.
Like anything over 1,000 US is too much.
Anything over 500.
You think that low? I mean, you got to cut the tree.
No. Because he talks about how he's a luthier and he does custom stuff. And from what it looks like, I think maybe he did do. I don't know. It kind of almost.
This says it's custom built, so I think he. Okay. I think he actually built this. Unlike his other, one. He does do modify with stuff.
Okay.
I think this was actually built. The neck is not. It's not a hand built neck. It's just a import neck.
But that's my point. That's where I ding it. That's where
That's where you knock it all the way down to 5. $100.
I'd not. No. I said nothing over $5, but I would pay nothing even close to $5. It's just not my bag. And like, what were the pickups?
They're just
guitar head lumbuckers.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
So they're not even name brand like pickups. Like, it'd be one thing if it's like, oh yeah, it's some kind of bougie brand or whatever. But like, and while this might be Caller or Floyd inspired, I highly doubt that's an actual.
Yeah, lumbuckers are $35 each new.
Okay, and these look like the cheapest Kluson vintage style tuners you can get. They're not even vintage style. They just have the vintage back. They're actually not open head, or not open head, but split shaft.
Right.
That nut looks like it's like cut weirdly, or the way he cut it open, like kind of looks a little off.
It looks a little narrow.
Yeah.
On one end.
Yeah. So no, this is nowhere near worth over $500.
Oh, good thing you don't live anywhere near London, Ontario.
Well, you know.
All right. You got anything else on this?
Yeah, there's nothing redeeming about this. Also, the two different color, the ring, the pickup ring and the pickups are just an ugly combo.
Yeah, the double white, double cream with black. It's a little weird. All right, let's hit this.
One more time. That's not actually bark. Like it would have been cooler if it was. Like he like clearly just like stained it, like he says.
Right.
To make it
definitely
look
looks a little off.
Yeah.
Let's hit up this sponsor spot. This episode is brought to you by Chase Plus Audio. They make pedals more creative than you are, such as the Habit. It makes bleeps and bloops. It's technically a delay pedal, right?
Yeah.
But it makes a lot of bleeps and bloops for you. Go check it out. Check out Ryan's demo. Check it out on chaseplusaudio.com. This episode is also brought to you by Stringjoy, makers of strings in Nashville, Tennessee. They wind these all in-house, so these are not, there are other string brands that are just buying from a factory and slapping their own branding on it, but they're actually winding these.
You mean most
in-house.
of them?
There's only like 4 string factories or something in the U.S.?
Yeah.
Or is it the world? I don't even know. I think it's just
Could
in the
be
U.S. But you can get these. They've got a whole bunch of standard sizes. These are 9 to 42s. That's a pretty standard light gauge string. But if you wanted something different, you don't want like the 9 to 42. You don't want the light heavy set where it's, a 9 to 52. Maybe you want to go super heavy. You can just go on there and they've got a pack designer and you can get whatever size strings you want. Head on over to stringjoy.com. If you use the link below, it does tracking that associates you with 60 cycle hum. I don't know what it means, but
last time, like I said, customer service is out of this world. They go above and beyond. Just saying.
Yeah. You got anything new, man? Do you know what your next video release is going to be?
I've been debating on it, so I did another batch of videos here at Ryan's. I'll probably be doing premiering, I should say. Let me grab it. This guy.
Nice.
When I was at Guitar House, I was doing, the get offset.
Yeah.
Or not get offset. Shout out Emily. But she also did a video with me on that. But no, just like trying offsets because I'm a tele guy, just trying, because I'd never really played offsets. So this is one of the ones that I didn't get to use at Guitar House. So I came back. Okay. And the reason why I love it, maple fretboard. As a tele guy, that is so cool.
That's a great guitar.
It is an amazing guitar. So yeah, that's probably going to be the next video. By the time this goes live, it should be up.
Oh, awesome. Well, let me see. Let me make a note. Link. I'll post some kind of link in there.
But yeah, amazing. I did this one. I did a bunch of videos. I did The Dream, which is as an HX Stomp guy, this is my first time like trying another amp sim. That pedal's quite amazing.
Yeah.
It's great, and it's standard 9-volt, which is a big deal as an HX Stomp player, especially if you do for me, if I were Ryan, that would be my demo like when he does events.
Just take
that one because one, it's got trim, it's got reverb, and it's got a built-in boost for a dirty channel. What else do you need for like a basic demo setup?
Very cool. Very cool.
Try not to break that because I don't have money to pay for it.
I don't have anything new. I feel like I should. I'm going to be hopefully selecting and painting my office soon, and then once I do that, I'm going to be getting some guitar hangers and putting up some stuff, hoping to have that all done by the end of September.
I mean, you're not one, but you got blues lawyer it up, have the desk, the wooden desk, and then
I kind of
put your Les Paul up.
Right now I've just got a table. I'm not hanging my Les Paul. My Les Paul will stay on the ground in case
earthquakes,
just in children. But I do need to figure out a desk situation, but I feel like I can't really get a gauge for how much space there is in my room until I get all the guitar cases out. And so this is going to get me there. And then the next step will be some kind of standing desk, and we'll go from there. So, hopefully, like I said, by the end of September, but we'll see how that goes. Do you want to hit this next ad?
Absolutely. Which one are we tackling now?
This is the Fender Key.
The what?
The Jack Rack.
Okay. I was like, what?
This was sent by Mark de Bruin. Again, this is actually, I believe, in Dutch. It says, Nieuw in de Doos. Luke rechte om de sleutels op te hangen. Lit ook in amp van Fender. Compliment 4 sleutel hangers die je kan inpluggen. Ideal voor de man cave. There was one word in there. There's 3 words in there that I definitely think I know what it means. They are amp, Fender, and man cave.
Yes. Good job.
Have you ever seen, first of all, have you seen these before?
100%.
You're so like thrilled about, when we were prepping this, you're like, we got to do this one.
Okay.
Do you own one of these?
I don't. But one of my big passions about, like, because we talked about, musician minimalism. I'm really into like having accessories that keep me organized. So like I'm actually purchasing an Orbit key ring.
I don't know what that is.
It's just like literally like it's a loop, and then you put your keys in, and then you flip out the key you need. So your keys aren't jangling on a ton of things.
Yeah.
But the reason why I know about this is because you know who does use one, or did for a good chunk of time?
Brian Gower?
No.
All right, I don't know.
Fluff.
Oh, really?
Fluff did a video on his channel, but he had the Marshall head.
Right. There is also a Marshall version of this. I would get the twin one if I was really had to have one of these. Thankfully, I don't, and the reason for that is I'm kind of a key minimalist.
Yeah.
I do not like to carry anything on my key ring that I don't need on my key ring. So literally my key ring is a carabiner, my car key, and my house key.
Okay.
And that's it. Before I had one house key, I had 2 house keys. And so it was my carabiner, my car key, and 2 house keys.
Yeah, so
putting a freaking 1/4-inch plug on my car keys, I'm like, this is just gonna be, I'm gonna sit on my keys, and instead of just sitting on
you keep them in your backpack?
I don't. I the whole reason for carabiner so I can hook them to my shorts.
Got it.
But at some point, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna get like stabbed in the butt with the friggin' 1/4-inch plug.
At that point, it will be a butt plug.
Oh, it won't be. Jesus. It's on my side. It's not going in there.
You said we were talking about poking butts, dude. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You brought it on yourself. But no, I'm all up for organizing. And there's like actual adult versions of this concept of like a hook concept. Alpaca makes one that I was thinking about getting. Like it's like a snap-on feature.
Right.
But no, this is
See, I've just always had like regular plain ass hooks, so you can put keys on. You can put hang your keys from it. You can hang a jacket.
Yeah, exactly.
Your backpack, whatever.
No, I'm all up for trying to get your life organized, but it's also not absurdly priced. These are like $20.
Yeah,
like it's not bad at all. So like if you want to do that, do that.
Yeah. This has been up since the 26th of July. So it's been up a while.
Yeah, but what I'm going to guess, because it has shipping and stuff, I'm going to guess it's one of those they got it off like a discount box. They got like a stack of them, like how like the like Amazon mystery boxes.
Yeah.
And, returned stuff. Like this is one of those kind of posts.
Right.
Clearly.
Right. I kind of want one of those. I kind of want to do one of those Amazon.
Me too.
The problem is the ones I've always seen are like, get $20,000 worth of women's clothing for only $2,500. And I'm like, this is very reseller oriented. And I'm not going to, I'm not going to invest that much to try to do it.
So what you do then is they actually have these events where like, they're like blue bag specials. Mm-hmm. So like you literally pay like a door fee.
Right.
And then first come, first serve, and everything's a fixed price.
Oh, wow.
And I've actually seen like a video where like the dude was like, yeah, I got a PlayStation 5 return for legitimately $25.
Jeez.
And that's how they do it. They'll host these events. They'll be like, oh yeah, there's a door fee. And then however, each item's a fixed amount.
Right.
And then they'll promote things like, this is guaranteed to have one PlayStation. This is guaranteed to have one high ticket item. And so if you're going as a buyer, that's the kind of event you want to go towards.
Gotcha. Well,
just, I have many.
I've thought about looking those up, trying to find one of those events, but I kind of just want to check it out. I don't really want anything. I just kind of want to see the novelty of it, but then I don't want to pay an entrance fee. So that's a problem.
Hey, not all of them have entrance fees. It's just the one that I happen to watch because I watch.
Right.
That YouTube algorithm just knows how to like rope me with the most random thing known to mankind. And one of those is like, oh yeah, I went to an Amazon resale thing. And so like, if I remember correctly, he actually didn't get the PlayStation. He walked right past it by accident and then turned around, saw it, and a lady had already picked it up.
Oh. That sucks.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Oops daisy.
Let's do a couple more sponsor spots. This episode's brought to you by the Demonic Machines $50 Fuzz.
This is awesome. I haven't heard it, but I want to. I'm a sucker for one knobs.
I mean, Ryan did a demo of it. You can listen to it on YouTube later. Not right now. We're working.
I love me a big knob.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Feels good in the hand.
Yeah. This is a whole sequence of Austin Powers jokes, isn't it?
Yes. And it's got a cat on there, so it's...
Does it? That's a demon.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, because you need to go to demonicmachines.com.
Why did I think there was a cat?
Do you think... Yeah, have you ever heard that tone's in the fingers?
Yeah, that's a lie.
It's not. It's in the signal.
That's right.
Tone is in the signal. So check them out. Demonic Machines. This episode is also brought to you by Big Ear Pedals. We talked about it earlier. We're going to talk about it again. The Albi. It's, what do they call it? An ambient modulator?
Yes.
It's a great little multi-effects, but all the effects are picked for you already. It's got 16 total modes. It's got 8 regular modes and 8 super Neil modes. Are they just called Neil modes? Ultra Neil? Is it Ultra Neil or Super Neil? I can never remember.
I don't know. But, you talked about this last episode and this episode. I felt disappointed because I demoed this with a synth on my channel.
And you didn't know, did you?
I didn't know about the extra 8.
Yeah. So when you just plug this in and power it normally, you're not doing anything. When you hold down, it will switch mode in a momentary function. So as soon as you let go, so say you're in mode 5, hold that down. It's going to go into mode Super Neil mode 5. Let it go. It's going to go back to mode 5. But the way I actually run mine is if you unplug it and you hold the button down, plug it in, it, instead of the switch being in momentary mode, the switch will be in latching mode. So you hold it down, and then when you hold it down, it switches banks permanently until you hold it down again. So because 16 modes. You know who had the same problem with this pedal? Brian Gower.
Well, okay, so first of all, I have no problem with this pedal. It just only confirms that I need to buy one so I can then
try to buy one.
The other modes.
Which means you need to go to biggerpedals.com and get on their mailing list so you know when there's more available.
Absolutely.
Let's hit this last ad. It's been a hot one.
This is a warm day.
7 inches from the midday sun. And yeah. Dude, I had this notification on my phone saying like extreme heat warning, and it's from Ring, so it's still registered to my old place down here.
Yeah.
Extreme heat warning. Temperatures may reach the high 80s and low 90s in 92122. And when I saw that, all I could think was like, oh God.
Add an extra 15 to where you're at.
I'm going to die. It's supposed to hit 109 this weekend.
Yeah.
Depending on which weather station you use, sometimes it's 110, which means my garage will be like 115. But it's okay because I have air conditioning.
Do you have solar yet?
No. Thinking about it.
You should, because I don't even want to imagine what your AC is.
It's a lot. But it's okay. This is sent by Nick Knight. He says, paralysis. Oh, the ad description says, paralysis through analysis? Is that a thing? Yes, it most certainly is, sir. Interpretation to overthinking a situation that can cause forward motion or decision-making to become paralyzed, meaning that no solution or course of action is decided upon. Do you see this guitar? There are 28 of these on Reverb at this moment. This is a Rickenbacker 620. There are 10 in Jet Glow. What's the determining factor in your choice? Condition, reputation, or lastly, price? That's it, Lee. It's the price. Condition and how about free shipping? Price and free is the Amazon effect. You know, you shop for a non-descriptive item on Amazon for the cheapest price. And just like that, the doorbell rings and you have your price. You know, I get it, but I kind of feel like at the price of this, which I didn't even include the price of this, it was like $200, I think. Dude, like just jack your price up $100 and call it free shipping.
Yeah.
That vaunted cat butt tissue holder. That should look nice next to your Godzilla garden gnome. But what's often overlooked? Yup, reputation. What is it worth to you to acquire certainty? But Lee, come on now. I bought from so-called reputable dealers and was let down. I hear you, but you didn't. Man, this guy just goes on and on. It's a lot of script. Y'all can read it. It's probably right here, right now. It's the place that you want to be. And you can check it out on our Imager link. But basically, this guy goes through this long thing that's a back and forth conversation between you and him.
No, him and Lee.
Well, no, he's Lee.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And basically trying to convince you to buy this and say, you know, just pick this thing.
Honestly, from the reputation that this company has, it sounds like it's probably somebody who works for them. Like, I
don't know.
Have you talked to any other reps at like NAMM?
No.
Okay, so neither have I, but I've seen stories. I've heard stories of just how pretentious they are, because even their whole NAMM booth is so pretentious.
Oh yeah, you can't play anything. It's just
it's
guitars
all in glass
hanging.
It's all in glass cases hanging.
Yeah,
it's absurd.
It's really goofy, and it's been the same booth for years.
Hasn't changed since.
Which I mean, you know, why change perfection, right?
That's right.
Right. How much would you pay? Let's talk about the cat. You want to talk about the cat tissue dispenser?
Yeah. Because honestly, that's more interesting than this guitar to me.
No interest in a black and white Rickenbacker 620.
Zero.
You don't want to be in a Beatles, Radiohead. Who else played Rickenbackers? Tom Petty cover band. No Tom Petty cover. All right.
No.
Well, but cat tissue butt dispenser.
That's right up my alley.
That is right up your alley.
No, because it's a cat.
Right.
It's an alley cat.
Is it an alley cat? How do you know it's in an alley?
It looks like it's like some kind of like cottage cat.
Yeah.
Totally.
It ate some paper and now it's pooping it out.
Yeah.
That's just the picture you want.
It's scented.
When you pull that tissue out to
blow your nose.
Blow your nose. He's like, I'm getting this out of a cat's ass. Cool.
Yeah, no. I don't understand. I just don't understand that.
I think the whole point here is that it's trying to be like funny. And that by being funny, like people are going to be like,
was this written by Mike Fuller? That's what this. Tell me it doesn't read like
it's written by Lee.
This is Mike Fuller's kind of sense of humor. Tell me I'm wrong.
I mean, I feel like there would be even more. There's not enough ego stroking in here. He would probably say something. It would probably have some line in there like, I don't have to sell you this guitar because I have so much money, but I'm giving you the opportunity to have the same rock and roll experience that I have by giving you the opportunity to buy this guitar from me.
I feel like it is if you take into account my theory that this person works for them.
Does Mike Fuller work for Rickenbacker?
No. I'm talking about the person writing this ad. Like it's his kind of sense of humor.
Right.
That's all I'm trying to say is like, I feel like if Mike Fuller worked for Rickenbacker, this would be copy he would write.
Yeah.
1000%.
It's very, and it's funny because it's not for a new one. This is actually for a 14-year-old 620, which I will say, like, it's in
remarkable condition.
Yeah, these clean. Are really great photos. There's actually a bunch of them. I only did the one because it's actually the photos are so clean and the instrument is in such good condition.
Like they got it from their stock, because he happens to work for the company.
Oh yeah, I see where we're going here.
Yeah. Let's continue. Yeah. No, it's super clean. It's clearly somebody taking a product shot. Like, look at the background. This isn't like, let me throw it on the bed with my weird handmade quilt as the backdrop.
Yeah. This is well lit. It's got some kind of
zero
professional
shadows,
bounce.
like very little shadowing. Like you can clearly see everything.
I mean, this cat doesn't have any shadowing, man.
No, he used a he cut that out. You can look at it though. Like if you look closely, he cut that out. And you know what? Depending on the background that it originally cutting out that tissue paper could be a real pain if you're, cutting it out with using a handy dandy like tablet. Just saying. What's the cat's name?
Milo.
Oh, I was gonna go with Yoko. Because.
Jeez.
Whatever.
Oh, bad joke. Bad joke.
It's a bad
Another hour of bad jokes.
That's what we do here.
Let's play the song and get out of here.
I like it. I like this cat.
This is from Antigua Stephen. He says, I made this when I was just getting into pedals and Behringer prices were about all I was willing to pay. I used a player Telecaster HH's neck pickup into the Behringer Metal Zone clone with the gain cranked, then into a vintage phaser, then into two separate vintage delay pedals with different settings to make stereo. I used the delay-only outputs from those into my recorder, so there's no dry guitar sound. You can barely hear anything recognizable as a guitar. I recorded in one go, just messing around, improvising and playing to the sounds the pedals made, and it came out sounding cooler than I expected. I've been told it's kind of like guitar ASMR. That rhymed.
Guitar nice little rhyme. ASMR.
That's a great. I feel like could be a great, like website. Are we really doing this right now?
Guitar, but see what I want it to be is just random clicks or random clips of like hitting the wood, like not actual playing. Like if this was a website to go to, or the sound of like you pulling the strings through the tuner, the tuning pad, like so.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. All right, what 80s movie is this song? Maybe it's not an 80s movie. Maybe it's older than an 80s movie.
No, I don't think it's older than an 80s movie. I think this is Deep Thought. This is art house. This is an art house film.
Okay.
Sci-fi based, so but they only have like 1 or 2 shots that are heavy driven because of budget. Mm-hmm. This is sci-fi, but minuscule sci-fi. So like it takes place in a future setting, and like I said, they have like 1 or 2 shots that they blow the budget on, but like really, other than that, you wouldn't know that it's like the future.
Right.
Like maybe like a art house version of like Blade Runner 2049. Not original Blade Runner 2049 specifically.
Yeah. No, I can see that.
And, or
yeah.
Have you seen, I think it's called The Tree of Life?
No, I've heard that's good. Is that the Terrence Malick one?
Who's that?
The director?
I don't know if it's him. It's main guy's what's his name? Wolverine. Come on. Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, he's in it. If you've ever seen that movie, that's kind of that's what it reminds me of.
The whole time I was going through different things, and I was thinking about like different scenes from Space Odyssey. Yeah. Which I realize is older. And then I kind of settled on Altered States. Have you ever seen Altered States?
No, I have not.
Altered States is about a guy who I think is it John Hurt? Is that who I'm thinking of? Not the British guy of similar name, but who is it that played Thunderbolt Ross, who just recently died? I think is in that movie. I don't remember his name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about though.
But yeah, so so Altered States. So basically about a guy who I think he's taking some kind of hallucinogenic. I don't remember if it was acid or if it was like mushrooms or something.
Okay.
But he does that, and then he goes into a sensory deprivation chamber.
Ooh.
And so it's all about him like
experiencing that.
But it's like state. So that's why it's called Altered States, and so it's kind of this psychedelic, but it's about, I think he's like a doctor or something who's like just doing like that's his experiment. Anyway, that's what I thought of. I thought I was a lot
Have you ever done one
that
of those?
I was much different than I thought it was going to sound based on the description.
No, I can see where he's getting the whole. I wouldn't say ASMR. I would say more just like meditating. Like,
I liked it.
Like, get your chakras aligned kind of music.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in a sleep deprivation chamber?
No.
They're weird.
Yeah.
They're very weird. And if you can't stand being in your own thought, you don't want to do it. So what you're describing to me sounds like hell. Like if I were to do that experiment myself, I'd go insane. Literally, I think like part of it is that I feel like I watched this in high school. I actually watched it in a class. Okay.
I don't remember what class. I don't remember why we watched it. It might have just been because the teacher was like, "Hey, check out this movie." But
kids love drugs.
But it was it's kind of like about his like story. Like there's a little bit of story to it. It's not just a dude tripping balls the whole time.
I mean, like I said, I'd probably go insane. Like it's the idea. It's the equivalent of like, how people say like you can't go in the world's quietest room.
Right.
It's like doing that, but high. And that sounds terrifying.
Well, I think even in the world's quietest room, like it's so quiet that like the absolute loudest thing is your heartbeat.
Yes.
But you're only hearing it through your chest.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think that's it. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
And doing a couple episodes. And Ryan, happy birthday again. Even though this is now 2 weeks
removed.
Over 2 weeks since your birthday.
It must be some wicked hangover. 2 week celebration.
Yeah.
Sounds awful.
Stay grounded. Gotta stay grounded.
Stay grounded.